Let's put our thinking caps on. Are you guys ready? Okay, let's put them on. Oh my goodness. So my mathematicians are ready.
Hi, I'm Sonia Barron, and my lesson focus is number combinations for 7. Students will be using objects, drawings, and numbers to explain their thinking. I selected a task that had a real-world connection for the students and also gave them an opportunity to show their work in multiple ways. In the before phase, I review the objectives for the lesson so that students are clear on their learning goals. For this lesson, I focus on Math Practice Standard 3 and wrote a language objective to support it.
Using objects, drawings, and numbers. Now, what are some objects that we use in math?
Counters.
You use counters, right? Or linking cubes. Now, those are objects. Do some of you draw pictures like that? Yeah. This is another way you could draw pictures, right? And another way you can show me your work is with numbers.
I reviewed the vocabulary I wanted students to use and used pictures to clarify the context of the problem. To support all my students, especially my ELD Level 1s, in meeting the language objective, I incorporated the discussion technique Think, Pair, Share.
Let's see what you talked about to your partner. Now remember, Miss Barron is going to ask you what your partner told you. Bianca, what did Jose tell you about the pictures?
The ball is clean.
So you know what? I'm going to write that down. How many of you agree with Bianca? Okay, now I want to hear now about this ball.
The boy kicked it far away, and that's why it fell in the mud.
Our problem today has to do with the soccer balls that you talked about.
First, we read the task together, and then I helped them to make sense of the problem by asking, what are we trying to find, and what do we know? This allowed students to understand the question and gave them an entry point to the problem.
Daniela, tell me what's important and what should I do?
You gotta circle the number 7.
Why does Daniela think that I need to circle the 7? Talk to your partner. Why should I circle the number 7, Daniela?
Because that's important, because that has to be the number of the balls.
Daniela said that I need to circle the 7 because the 7 tells me that's the what?
It's the whole.
It's the whole. Or what's another word that we can say? The total, right?
We read the task again at their seats so they could underline and circle on their own papers.
You're going to show me your work. What did we say? Using objects, right? Or you can show me your work using drawings. Or you can show me your work using numbers. You have some objects at your tables that you can use. And you also have your crayons. Are you ready to get started?
Yes.
I see my mathematicians are ready, so let's go.
In the during phase, I let students go and let them work independently before working with a partner. This helps them to grapple and make sense of the information before they have to share their ideas and strategies. I provided various tools and reminded them of our MP3 objective, which is to explain their thinking using objects, drawings, and numbers. I walked around and asked focusing, assessing, and advancing questions to ensure that all students were working at their zone of proximal development.
How many did the problem say that you had? 7. So the problem says 7, right? You circled it. So I want you to count how many soccer balls you have here and see if that gives you 7.
2, 3, 4, 5. Anyone more? You just saw it. 1, 5, 6. That makes 7.
So you know what? What do we have to do with the partners you recorded, though?
3 and 3.
But do you have 3 and 3 now? 5 and 2. What do we call those? You remember? Yeah. Here, let's look at our vocabulary. What do we call your 5 and 2? We say, huh?
Partners.
They're your partners, right? All right, can you go see if you can find more partners? What is this called? This
A number box.
It's a number bond. So what is your total?
7.
Now, how did you know that this was your total was 7?
Because it's a box.
It's what?
The box.
It's, okay, the total number of balls, right? Now, I want you to check that. Does the 6 and the 0 give you a total of 7? What can we do?
Change the 6
To what?
to a 7.
Bianca, what does the 7 mean? 7 what?
Balls.
What kind of balls?
This is clean balls.
You did 7 clean, okay. Now show me what you did here. What does this picture represent?
30 balls.
So how many do you have here?
7.
So here you did 7 clean soccer balls, and here you did 7.
30.
Okay, now I want you to go back and look at your number bond and see if it matches your picture.
And what else?
2 and 5.
And,
4 and 3.
you know, do you think you can write your partners as an equation?
At your desk, you have a sentence stem. I want you to look to see if you have an A or if you have a B.
I incorporated multiple opportunities for students to share their thoughts with different partners. For this lesson, students rotated at their tables so they could speak and listen to a student they had not worked with. The sentence stems and the rotations prepared them for the whole group discussion that was going to take place in the after phase.
So we all have shared our work, and we've all explained our thinking, and we've all been able to use some of the vocabulary that we have been working on, right?
In the during phase, I selected work samples to share with the class. Both samples I chose had multiple combinations of 7. One had drawings and partners, and the other had drawings, number bonds, and equations. I used these samples in the after phase to facilitate a student-centered discussion.
Ulises, I want you to start by telling me, what are your partners?
My partners are 5 and 2.
Daniela, can you tell us, using our sentence stems, what partners did you find?
My partners are 4 and 3.
She's just said my partners are 4 and 3. What should we do? What? Check them. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're going to keep practicing counting on. So Daniela, can you tell me what you used to show your work?
I used drawings. I used number bonds.
I see that you use numbers. What do we call that?
Equation.
Daniela, did you use equations? You did, huh? Okay, so let's show that there. One more question, Daniela. Daniela, I see that you have a letter on top of the 5 and a letter on top of the 2. What do those letters mean?
Stands for if they're muddy or dirty or clean.
So we're going to be finding what is the same between Ulises and Daniela's work.
I used a double bubble map to highlight the similarities and differences between the two work samples. I embedded multiple pair shares to help students construct a response before sharing. This gave them time to put their thoughts together and use the ideas of others to enhance their learning.
Jocelyn,
can you come up and tell me, what did you tell your partner?
they both have 5 and 2. 5 and 2.
What else do they both have?
They both have 3 and 4.
4 and 3, and this is 3 and 4. Are those the same? They're switched. Oh, okay. So is that the same though, or is that different?
Different.
That's different. Anyone else have something that's the same?
They both have 7.
Can you talk to your partner about that?
Because that's a total.
You know, Ulises has 7, and Daniela has 7. Where are we getting 7 though?
Because that's our total.
Was our total 7?
Yes.
Where does it say that we have 7 as our total? In the problem. Do you guys remember that? 7 is our total, and you're right, they both have 7. What about the objects that they used?
They go to use counting. They go big.
Used.
Giant.
Now you're not going to think about what's the same. You're going to think about what's different. Luis, what else is different?
Because Ulysses doesn't have 7 and 0. They are different because Daniela has equations.
Why do we say that this is an equation?
Because it has a plus and an equal sign.
Can you turn and talk to your partner and tell him all the ways you can make 7?
I recorded the combinations of 7 and placed them in a pocket chart to summarize the learning and to use as a reference tool in the future.
7 and 0. 4 and 3. 4 and 3 are the opposite of the up one. 5 and 2. 2 and 5.
I recorded the equations with the sum first because the task started with the total. Also, the California Math Framework states that kindergarten students need to understand that the equal sign means the same as, and therefore the sign can be on the left.
3 and 4, 4 and 3. Then we have 5 and 2, 2 and 5. What would be the partner for this?
0 and 7.
Are they switched? Yeah. Do we still get 7?
Yes.
We still get 7. Now, you know what? There's one last thing we need to do.
At the end, I refer back to the question and check that we answered and met our objective.
Do you remember that question? So we found different ways that the soccer balls could be clean or muddy.
My next steps are to have students continue working on Math Practice Standard 3 so they can refine how they explain their thinking and how they analyze the thinking of others. We will also play games such as Shake and Spill and Snap It so that they learn more combinations of 7 and see how patterns such as the commutative property can help them to decompose numbers.